Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to lay out the architectural blueprint for turning your data warehouse into a powerful, automated analytics solution.
Okay, so you've mastered relational databases, you've got your data warehouses humming along, but that's just storage, right? The real question is, how do you design a system that takes all that data and starts making automated decisions? That's the leap we're talking about today, from passive data storage to active intelligence.
Now, you might think this means building some crazy, complex, custom solution from scratch every single time. But honestly, that's a common trap. The most effective way to do this is to follow a repeatable blueprint. It's a structured design with 6 core components that reliably turn all that raw data into automated action.
So what is this blueprint? Let's take a look at the 6 foundational components that make up this whole architecture.
Okay, here they are. And they follow a really logical flow. We start by extending the data warehouse, then we create these specialized analytics variables, we house them in a dedicated datamart, define a clear decision strategy, integrate it all with your operations, and then, and this is key, we wrap the entire thing in a solid layer of governance. This is basically our roadmap. So let's dive in.
All right, first things first, we're actually going to tackle the first 2 components together. Component 1 is extending the data warehouse. Think of this as getting your raw data foundation ready, because once that's solid, we can move on to component 2, creating the real fuel for our analytics engine, the analytics variables themselves. And this really gets to the heart of what extending the warehouse means. See, your standard warehouse is full of what we call base variables. That's the raw data you already have, like a customer's age or a product's price. But to really power a predictive model, you need to engineer what we call performance variables. This is data that's been specifically crafted, aggregated, coded, transformed to help an algorithm spot patterns it would totally miss otherwise.
Okay, so you might be wondering, why is this so critical? I mean, can't a powerful modern algorithm just find the patterns in the raw data? Well, not as well as you'd think. The truth is, most models really struggle with raw, continuous data. An algorithm doesn't learn much from the tiny difference between an age of 28 versus 29. To learn effectively, it needs those values grouped into discrete, meaningful categories.
And here's a perfect example of what that looks like in practice. We take a continuous number, like a customer's age, and we transform it into a performance variable, like an age band. Suddenly, the model isn't just seeing a random number, it's seeing a meaningful category. And that gives it so much more discriminatory power to find those crucial patterns. So we've engineered all these powerful new variables. But where do they go? You can probably guess that we don't just dump them back into the main data warehouse. That would get messy and inefficient. Nope, they need a special purpose-built home. And that brings us right to component number 3, the analytics datamart. The best way to think about the analytics datamart is as a highly specialized one-stop shop. Seriously, this isn't just another database or data silo. It is a repository designed with one single purpose: to hold every single piece of relevant data, all the variables, and even the models needed for one specific analytic solution to do its job. So what's inside this one-stop shop? Well, it's typically structured into 4 key logical areas. It holds the base data we started with, our new, shiny performance variables, the actual trained models and their characteristics, and a complete audit trail of every time those models are executed. It's literally the entire brain of the solution, all packed neatly in one place. Okay, this is great. We've got our variables, and they're living in a purpose-built data mart. Now, looking at our blueprint, the next steps are decision strategy and operational integration. So how do those 2 pieces work together to actually, do something? Well, they're really 2 sides of the same coin. The decision strategy is the logic of the decision, while operational integration is the plumbing that connects that logic to your real-world business systems. When you're designing this integration, your decision strategy really comes down to answering 3 key questions. First, what's the strategy firing event? I mean, what specific business event actually triggers the model? Second, what's the input data? What information does the model need at that exact moment to make a call? And third, what's the output decision? What precise action does the operational system need to take? Answering these questions is the strategy, and the integration is just the technical plumbing to make it all happen. Right, that'll make sense, but automating decisions based on some preset strategy, it can feel a little risky, can it? How do you maintain control? How do you actually trust the system to do the right thing? This, of course, is where that final crucial component comes in: governance. And here's the thing about governance.
It can't be an afterthought. You can't just bolt it on at the end. It has to be baked into the design from day one. It works by embedding a monitoring layer that literally tracks every single automated decision. And, this is so important, it establishes circuit breakers. These are automatic safeguards that can halt the whole process to protect against errors or weird, unexpected outcomes.
So how does that monitoring actually work in practice? A huge part of it is something called the audit datamart. Now, this is another one of those specialized databases, but its only job is to store the complete history of every automated decision, the thresholds that were in place when the decision was made, and any alerts that were triggered. This gives you total transparency, which is absolutely essential for both fine-tuning performance and for any kind of formal audit. It's how you build real long-term trust in the system.
Okay, so let's pull back and take a look at the complete blueprint we've just assembled. This is the whole 6-component architecture for an automated analytics solution.
It's a clear, robust flow. First, you craft those powerful analytics variables to really fuel your models. Then, you centralize them in that purpose-built analytics data mart. Next, you connect those insights to real-world action through thoughtful operational integration. And finally, you build trust and reliability into the entire system with an embedded governance layer. See how it all fits together? When you put all those pieces together, you end up with a system that's not just powerful, but also truly robust and trustworthy. So the blueprint is ready. It's in your hands now. The only real question left is, what are you going to build first?
Hey, thanks so much for joining us for this explainer. If you found this valuable, you know what to do. Please like, share, and subscribe for more.